Where exactly am I failing when I am working 80 hours a week? I am taking the only jobs that will hire me. I have put in 477 applications over the last 2.5 years. Not even gotten a call back once.
Why do you think?
You tell me. You're a job creator.
But I don't know your resume. You know your life better than I do. Why do you think you have not gotten a call back on 477?
Patrick Bet-David was just on Jubilee. He represents capitalists debating 20 anti-capitalists. And this interaction was particularly hilarious because it just exemplifies the mentality of someone who is anti-capitalist. And a lot of them identify as socialist or communist. And the theme that you noticed over and over, all the candidates coming from different backgrounds, is that they do not want to take responsibility for their own shortcomings. A theme that you notice over and over in these interactions that they are unhappy with where they are financially, but they do not want to take responsibility. They have this mentality that the government should provide, that the government should take care of them, that rich people should get taxed even more to support their daily needs. But when they want the government to take care of them, what they don't realize is that the government doesn't create anything. They don't make any products. They don't make any services. They don't own businesses. The money that the government gets is just a reallocation of capital from people that do have businesses. And I'm not even talking about big corporations. I'm talking about even like small mom and pop businesses. You going to work and maybe you make a good salary. Maybe you make $60,000, $70,000. The government takes 20% of that and just wants to redistribute that wealth to people that are not doing anything, to even programs like, I don't want to get too controversial in this video, but even things like unemployment. And this is a perfect example of it. This is actually so hilarious. We're going to go over like the part where Patrick actually offers him a job. And he came off as someone who is like desperate, like he needs a job, he wants to make some money. And instead of taking this opportunity, he went into this kind of almost like a tantrum of like, okay, like what does your company do? Like it was pretty funny. So we're going to get into it. But going back to my original point, this perfectly exemplifies the mentality of like someone who's a socialist.
Because
Because a lot
I
of
do not have a degree.
Okay.
Because I do not have a degree because I could not afford one. I live in an area where the
So for the rest of the time, he just goes on to like complain about how, you know, and that's another theme you notice in these interactions. All the socialists, Patrick, even if you don't agree with a lot of Patrick's views, if you watch his podcast, he at least comes with solutions. There's light at the end of the tunnel type of like view. But pretty much all the on the other side of this debate, all the anti-capitalists, all they think about is themselves. It's always me, me, me. What can the government do for me? What can rich people do for me? And the world is bleak. It's hopeless. There's no way out. And he kind of exemplifies it. All he does for like a good portion is just complain about like his circumstances, his upbringing. There's people that have way worse upbringing than this dude growing up in America. There's his circumstances are better than like 99% of the world's population, but still he finds reasons to complain about things that he does have control over.
job market is very limiting.
Where do you live?
I live in rural Texas. There are 8 jobs, period.
Does your family live there? Mom, dad, everybody's in that same city?
Everybody was at one point.
Okay.
Most of them are dead now.
Okay. Sorry to hear.
Nah, it is what it is. It's poverty. We're kind of used to that on this side.
Why do you feel like you're a victim?
And that kind of sums up, they all like the difference you'll notice between Patrick Bet-David, who's a capitalist, and any other capitalist that you listen to versus like socialists and communists. The capitalists never take a victim mentality. They have this understanding that if I'm not where I want to be financially, I can make changes. I can go out there and do what I need to do, whether it's get better education, whether it's get a certain skill to get higher paying jobs or start a business. But the anti-capitalists here, communists or socialists, they have this mentality that if I'm not where I want to be, it's someone else's fault. It's the government's fault for not taking care of me. It's the rich people's fault for not paying enough taxes to take care of me. So this is the perfect summarization of the mentality between capitalists and anti-capitalists, where the anti-capitalists have this victim mentality that you notice over and over and over and over.
I feel like the way you speak, like you're the victim where all this happened to you?
Because I exist and things happen to
Why do you
students as such. Things happen, and that's why I say that they happen
You're
to
a
me.
good-looking guy. Why do you
Thanks.
think you're a victim? Why do you think you're somebody that's got into a situation because it's not fair what happened to me? You consider yourself a hard worker.
I mean, I feel like 80 hours a week.
That's a hard worker.
Sure.
How about we do this? How about I interview and I give you a job? Would you move to Fort Lauderdale?
Why not?
Would you move to Fort Lauderdale?
Sure, why not?
How about you and I document this? After this, you come, I do an interview with you, and I give you a job. Let's see what you do 90 days later.
Okay, and I'll look up your company and all that kind of stuff, and I'll see it. But
And
like,
see what just happened.
regardless,
But watch what you just did.
sure.
You just said you applied to 477 companies who's not gone back.
So this was the very funny part of this interaction. This guy for a good 5 minutes just came off as like super victim. Like, I have applied to 477 jobs, never even got a call back. He comes off as someone who's desperate for a job. He should be, in his position. Anyone in his position should be desperate for some kind of income. And here Patrick is offering him a job. Again, it's vague. We don't know exactly what job it is, but someone, put yourself in his shoes. If you're in his shoes and this guy who's very successful offers you a job, even if it's a janitorial position that you could potentially make $15 an hour, wouldn't you be like, oh my God, hey, I've been applying to 477 jobs. No one called me back. And this guy just talking to me for 2 minutes is offering me a job. Like, let me go make some money. Let me at least make like $15 an hour. Let me get something done. Maybe I can prove myself. I can show like, hey, I'm better than this. If you're in his shoes, you should be kind of like desperate to just get any kind of income, any kind of money. But the reason, again, I don't know this guy personally, the reason he has applied to so many jobs, but is also at the same point not desperate for income is because the government must be paying for his food stipend and unemployment. So he's pretty comfortable. He must be getting pretty decent unemployment benefits and he must be getting food stamps, which is why he's not too worried about like generating income. And this is the perfect mentality. This is the perfect reason why socialism and communism does not work long term. Because in a in a pure capitalist society, you have to go out there and earn your keep. You have to provide value to the society to make money. And you have to take, even if you don't like the opportunities in the beginning, you have to take whatever opportunity you can get to like level up your skills. But in a communist society, the government just takes care of you. So you have no incentive, you have no drive. Like we see, this is a perfect example. He has absolutely no drive to like go out there, try to get some money, try to get some income, get that skill. You can even say on your application, like, hey, I work for this guy who's like, well known. Maybe while he's in that job, he can start doing some other work and keep moving up. But he doesn't have that mentality because, again, the government is taking care of him, probably paying his unemployment benefit.
A business owner who's hiring aggressively just made an offer to you. You said you're willing to move. Then you said, I'll look at it. You became selected.
I didn't say I looked at it if you'd let
yourself.
me finish my
Go ahead.
sentence.
And look at his attitude. Look at how combative he is. If you are a business owner, if you've ever been an employer, would you want to hire someone like this? Would you want to work with someone like this? If this person owned a business, would you want to like shop at his business? Would you want to buy things from him? Would you want to? So he just the attitude is another thing that's like a big difference you'll notice between a capitalist and someone who's a socialist and communist. These socialists and communists, or let's just call them anti-capitalists to make it easier, they have this like attitude of entitlement, like the world owes them something, where the capitalist has the complete reverse attitude. And that's the big major difference. Like this is a perfect example. You see like the entitlement, you can just feel the entitlement come out of the screen. It's so overwhelming, the entitlement that this guy has, who doesn't have a job. He needs a job, he needs to go make money, but he's so entitled that when he's offered a job, his immediate response is, I have to see what your company does and maybe.
Your company to see exactly what you guys do,
You would like to.
because I don't know what you guys do.
Okay.
So as far as I'm concerned, I may be wasting my time going. If you guys are a finance company, if you guys are a bank or something like that, I don't have the certifications.
Again, Patrick just offered him a job. He doesn't care about his certification degrees. Like, Patrick offering him the job just based on talking to him for 2 minutes, he will figure out what position he qualifies for. He already has that in the back of his head. But this guy is such a victim mindset. He is such an entitled POS that he has to come up with any excuse, like some excuse that didn't even exist to kind of justify, like, hey, maybe I don't want to work for this company. Patrick said nothing about certifications or like, like you might not be qualified. Patrick already decided that whatever position he wants to put him in, he's already qualified. Like whatever position he wants to give him, he has a job for him, but he had to come up with some excuse, something to like justify again not working. And so that kind of explains like what was going on with the 477 application, because this guy doesn't want to work. It's very clear he is content the government providing for him. Like, think about it for a second. Think about it logically, even if we don't know anything about him. He doesn't have a job. He's looking for a job. So where is he getting money from? How is he living? How is he paying for food? Does he have a big savings account? Is he a trust fund baby? It doesn't look like it. So like the natural deduction would be that he's getting food stamps and the government is paying for unemployment, and he's content that he's not jumping on any opportunity available to him.
Even interviewing me
But what,
would
what,
be a
what if
moot
I
point.
gave you a job, period?
And there you go. That's pretty much summarizes it. He said, "What if I just give you a job, period?" He doesn't care about his qualification. He is going to give him a job where he can make money, 10, 15, 20, we don't know, but he can make some money. And instead of it's just the mentality. You have to think about the mentality of the person. Instead of being like, "Yes, I will take it. I will at least work for a week or two, make some money, and if it's like the worst horrible conditions, then I can quit." But initially, you should be like, "Yes, I will take the job. Whatever you have for me, I will take the job. Get some income, and maybe even I can put on my resume, hey, I worked here for a certain period of time." But the mentality isn't there. And so this was very funny because this was like the fastest like hiring and firing of someone we've seen on screen. Patrick was definitely 100% serious about giving him a job, because I think Patrick is very content conscious. And what he was thinking, hey, like if I give this guy a job, and I think Patrick would have hooked him up with something like really decent, something really good, where he was like, hey, let me give this guy a job and then he can make content off of it. Like, hey, we took this communist socialist, we gave him a job and he did a good job in this job, and now he thinks more like a capitalist. So in the back of his head, Patrick was actually probably thinking like how to make content out of it. But it doesn't matter, he would have gotten a job. Maybe he would have gotten an editing job at Valuetainment, or like uh so many other podcast related jobs, like filming, anything. He could have given him any job. At least he would have a job, some income, and a good team to work with. But this I thought was hilarious. This kind of summarizes like the mentality of the people who are anti-capitalist. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to do more reactions. Please, let's get this video to 100 likes and leave a comment. Tell me what you guys think about this interaction. I will make more videos like this if you guys are enjoying this content. So please let me know, and I will see you on the next video. Thank you for watching.